pronoun, where we're from, and your interest in learning more about STEM or STEM mentoring, or if there's other hot mentoring topics we want to talk about today, we can be flexible and do that too. Beverly, do you want to kick us off?
Okay, so yes, I'm Beverly Sorrows, and I work on the east side of Washington State. I work for Ponderay County Counseling Services as their coalition coordinator for the CPWI grant. So it's about substance abuse education for our youth. And we do a lot of education in the schools, like Too Good for Drugs, life skills, things like that. So we have a lot of partners, and we did have a grant once where one of our partners for the Grizzly Discovery Center that was also working with the schools, they did a lot of STEM stuff then. But you know, a lot of times funding streams change, and we haven't really done anything probably for about a year now.
Yeah.
But always interested in that.
Yeah. Awesome. Minfa, do you want to go next?
Yeah, my name is Minfa Rodriguez. I'm the program coordinator at Big Brothers Big Sisters. My pronouns are she, her. I actually don't, I was trying to look up the email. I wasn't sure which topic this was focused on today. We haven't, I mean, we do, it's kind of a little complicated right now. I mean, I work with the high school students in our program, but not necessarily offer any like STEM related stuff, but would love to, like, I know some students who are interested in, you know, maybe pursuing a career in the STEM field. So maybe that's why I said, I don't remember exactly why I signed up today. Yeah. But I'm hoping just to get some good information.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Tony, you want to go next? Tony's not with us. And since Jeff has walked away, we won't put him on the spot. Vic, how about you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Victor Mobley. I'm the program officer here at Mentor Washington. I focus mostly on quality assurance and offering up no-cost consultation to our programs via the National Mentoring Resource Center. And I'm just excited to hear from all you today, hear what you got going in STEM and how Mentor Washington can support your efforts moving forward.
Awesome. Jeff, you want to do a quick intro, name, where you're from, and if you're doing any cool STEM stuff? I know you all have your lab.
Oh, sure. Jeff Engel, I'm the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southwest Washington. Big fan of Jolynn. Worked together with her for the last 5 years. She was my mentor as I got started here as the executive director for Big Brothers. I have one little that's 22 and another little that's 10. So I'm pretty busy with the littles in my life, which are a lot of fun. As far as STEM goes, we put together, I think it's 3 years ago when we moved into our new office, a S.T.E.M learning lab. We added A for art. And the reason we went that direction is we found there weren't a lot of STEM type activities once you aged out of we have an amazing hands-on children's museum down here that's world class. And till you're 10, it's great. But after that, it's kind of, you can't really go there that much anymore. And so we put together a lab for our bigs and littles. We run summer camp here in collaboration with the city of Olympia and served about 70 kids over the course of the year. And it's just been a really big part of our offerings to our bigs and littles, so they have a place to go and do STEM activities as a part of when they get together.
Love that. Good stuff. Tony, are you with us now? You want to introduce yourself? You're muted if you're trying to talk.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
All right, great. Sorry about that. My Zoom isn't working well today since early this morning.
It's okay.
My organization is Futurepreneurs Unlimited. Well, I work with a couple organizations. Team Issachar, which is a mentoring program that has been in operation since 2013. We operate out of Mount Zion Baptist Church in Seattle, and it's a holistic development program for young men ages 10 to 18. And then Futurepreneurs Unlimited, we established in 2020, and that's focused on building agency. We refer to it as entrepreneurial thinking and abilities. We have a strong STEM component to that, in that we've been engaged in building a software platform that focuses on e-mentoring and group mentoring.
Yeah.
And our youth are a large part of that. They've been building and testing, designing and testing the software for throughout this period. Now we have a formal memorandum of understanding with the Lake Washington Institute of Technology. So we are really expanding that software platform and working with the students at the Lake Washington Institute of Technology. And that the youth that we're primarily working with are opportunity youth, those that we were introduced to through Superintendent of Public Instruction grant.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing quite a bit in STEM. We are going to, in the next month, be aggressively expanding the program through what we are calling the kindness projects. The kindness projects are leveraging curricula from the Randall Acts of Kindness Foundation, where we'll be asking youth to take on a minimum 30-day commitment to kindness in a topic area that they either are interested in, have concern about, or that they would like to make a community impact. So that will have a very, very strong STEM component to the kindness projects. So we're doing quite a bit in that area.
That's awesome. Jeanette, are you there and want to do a quick introduction?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Jeanette Liang, and I'm the Communications and Administrative Coordinator for Mentor Washington.
Her title just changed. She had to think about it. I saw that pause. Thank you, Jeanette.
Yep.
And my name is Jolynn, she, her pronouns, and I am the executive director at Mentor Washington. I am also a nerd by nature and love things all STEM related, although engineering may not be in my experience wheelhouse. Math for sure. Science, it takes me a minute, but I can catch on. And technology is definitely in my wheelhouse for sure. But excited to be meeting with you all today and hear more about what you're up to and what you might want to share with folks. And if folks have questions, just in terms of like a couple of quick resources that I found or that are available through Mentor. I'm going to share my screen real quick. So hopefully all of you have heard of the elements of effective practice, which are the guide for the best practices regarding youth mentoring. And there's some supplemental things out there. So for example, there's a supplemental guide for LGBTQ programs. There's a supplemental guide for STEM. So I'm just gonna enter. So I went to the resource library here for mentoring.org, and you can see, different things available, and including the supplement. So you can download these, and there's just a quick checklist that briefly goes through each of the sections of the EP. So the EEPs are recruitment, screening, and then you get down to training, mentor training, and then there's things like match support as well. And they're organized into recommendations, but then enhancements as well. So some of these are like, they list as a bare minimum, and other things are enhancements. But that's just a quick checklist. And then the fuller guide has all of these things. And I'm sure Vic is probably already ahead of me. I can't see the chat, but I'm guessing he's already linked them. So those are the EEPs regarding STEM, if you want to check those out. Some of my other experiences with STEM mentoring, we've had, when I was leading a mentoring program before Mentor, we had some really cool partnerships with robotics organizations, the different aquariums or museums around. And Jeff, I love your point that some of those science museums are really catered towards little kids, preschool, elementary school. And we know that the STEM projects you want to do with a 7-year-old is different than a 17-year-old. So it's really important to think about that. But there's some really cool existing curriculums and programs that exist out there. One of our programs, we actually, instead of sending mentors to the school, we actually sent kids to Amazon to meet with their mentors on campus. And we were always doing, curriculum and activities and sessions around STEM careers and just getting kids excited about those sort of different things. So I would love to hear from all of you. Like, what are some of your curiosity questions? What are some of your barriers that we can learn from one another? What all do you want to chat about related to STEM? If you have platforms that you use for technology, I know Tony, you mentioned e-mentoring. If folks have different platforms that they're using that you just love and you want to share, like we can take this in so many different directions. So where do we want to start?
Well, if I got 5 minutes, I could show you what we use.
Cool.
Feel free to share your screen, Tony.
Oh, okay, sure. Thank you. So this platform that we use, again, we've built this platform with Team Issachar, and which is the mentoring program. So this is called Merit XP, and I'll just show you some of the main features. And this is a mobile first platform. So it's built for phones and tablets, but you're looking at the desktop version. For those of you who, like me, are sight impaired, you can go to dark mode. So I'll show you some of the features. These beams of light are what we use for matching to assist the mentor matching process. So bank code is communications profiling tool. Since we're focused on kindness, this is a 6 dimensions of kindness to serve as another matchmaking component. And then we're tied in with the U.S. Department of Labor to assess career and job interests. So these are all put into an algorithm to so that the mentors have an opportunity to see what the youth's profile status is, and the mentors actually complete these same profiles because the youth are equally empowered to reach out to request that the mentor be connect. This shows you like the youth that I'm directly connected with, but if there were other youth that I was interested in connecting with, you see how the algorithm will show colors based upon our levels of compatibility based upon those profiles. And you can see the whole list of available youth that are in this group that I could connect with on an individual basis. Then it has, it has full capability of direct messaging with the youth that we are connected to. So we have 24/7 connection ability to the youth through the messaging. Then we have learning components. It has a built-in learning management system. which also shows as very targeted points of discussion and reasons to connect. So if the youth wanted to learn about a digital creation studio where they could do animations, they could go through. And the unique piece to this is that they're watching, as they're watching these videos, they're earning points because this is a gamified platform. So while they're watching the video, you see the meter turning, because we want to make sure that we're accurately measuring the amount of engagement between the mentor and the youth as much as possible, all the way down to the second. All discussions are recorded and all discussions earn points, just like in going through any of the learning material earns points. The reason for that, and most importantly, you can see everything is tracked and reported so that any organization is able to show the effectiveness of their, executing their mission, because it shows how much engagement is taking place. Why do we do all? And then, of course, all of that, we do create custom KPIs. So this is measuring where the engagement is taking place according to the 8 dimensions of wellness. So if we're looking at holistic development like we do in Team Issachar, we want to ensure that the engagement could be across all the different levels of holistic, so that one element is not getting too much attention as it applies to a person's overall development for youth. And then all of that, which the youth really like, is the rewards. So those points that they're earning for engagement with their mentor can be transitioned into tangible rewards through gift cards and any other type of rewards that the organization sets to reward their engagement. And not only the youth, but also the mentors have access. Everybody in the community basically earns points for their levels of engagement, and they can receive tangible rewards. So anyway, this is the platform that we've developed over the 10 years with Team Issachar that we're using, and it has accumulated tons and tons of hours of testing and is working very well. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share.
That's amazing. Is that replicable?
Yeah, any community, any group or organization can have access to this platform. It's in production now.
Wow, we should chat. I might have a few customers for you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're really pleased, and now that a number of groups are using it, they're giving us really good feedback on how well it's operating for them.
So, yeah, Vic made the mention of gamifying it, and that's a conversation. I was on a national work team with the last affiliate I was with, and we had lots of conversations about how to gamify rewards and points, and for going through different modules or trainings or engagements or interactions, right? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's really cool.
The youth, it's been really, the youth feedback that we've gotten along the way of them telling us, and not only just telling us, but actually, being part of ongoing focus groups has been tremendously valuable to have a strong youth voice in the development of this platform.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm going to connect with you separately. I'd love to highlight this as a story. I think this is really, really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm a huge video game nerd, and I would love to earn experience points and
totally
I would be so competitive with it.
Yes, they and believe me, one of the quests, which is what we call the learning content that we do with Team Issachar from September through June every year, is an investment challenge. And so we give them $10,000 of virtual money, and they pick up to 5 stocks. And every quarter, based upon their portfolio performance, they earn these rewards. And it is, as you mentioned, Victor, very competitive.
What a
Um,
great learning opportunity to make it like live practice.
Yes, yes. And they, through Merit XP, they go and each week they fill out their spreadsheets so that they're following their stocks and charting and but again, every time they do that, every time they log in and they fill out their spreadsheet, and they submit it, and a mentor, I didn't show you this component, but a mentor always signs off once they complete that task. A mentor signs off on it, and then they earn their points.
Just like at work, when you complete
Yes.
something, your boss signs off on it, right?
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great way to practice those skills too.
Yes, yes.
And I love that you're incorporating you're just like speaking all of my languages over here. Mentoring meets nerdiness, meets technology, meets kindness. Like that's awesome.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
That's awesome. What about others? Do you have anything you want to share, or highlight, or questions, or like to problem solve with your colleagues? I know one of the other programs at my last organization we worked with, we did a joint program with Woodland Park Zoo, where all mentors and mentees got Chromebooks, and they did online learning together related to animal science, mostly, and animal and environmental science, just because the environment impacts animals so much, and vice versa, right? Like animals and the environment are dependent on one another. And they did some like really cool stuff behind the scenes. So part of the programming was, sometimes they do service projects like cleaning up hiking trails or cleaning beaches, things like that. And then the other activities were behind the scenes zoo experiences with the animals, and but it was really focused on animal science and environmental science. And if Woodland Park Zoo wasn't so far from my house in Kent, I would totally sign up to do it.
Jolynn, you reminded me of, and I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to mention the River Ridge Nisqually School District. They did this really cool STEM project with underwater drones to like help the fish population improve, and it worked really well. And I just thought that was really interesting.
Jeff, what do you have to share?
Well, I guess it would be STEM related because it's technology. We have a program, let's see, what do we call it? Career Exploration Mentoring. And we work with local businesses, and the one we're happy to be working with right now is called Naked Prosthetics. And they, if you have a severed finger or hand, they develop they consult with you, they design, they 3D print or manufacture and install and do all the maintenance and everything right here locally. So you get all facets of a manufacturing, tech, and biotech company. And so we'll have, they're going to have 10 of their staff be mentors, and then we'll have 10 youth from the local, referred by CT directors locally, and the different school districts, and maybe some of the clubs. And the youth will meet once a month, and we'll have a full-blown curriculum where they'll go through the whole process from the interaction with the client all the way through to the manufacturing, fitting, et cetera. And they'll have some kind of a project that they'll do together with their mentors. But it's a combination of career exploration with the mentoring aspect. We did it with a local architectural firm for exposure to the construction industry. And the one thing we found from the youth was they wanted to spend more time with their mentor. So they wanted more, instead of shorter meetings, they wanted longer meetings, and they were meeting for an hour and a half. 3 of the youth, after the program ended, it was during the school year, ended up going into the community-based program to stay with their mentors. And 3 of the youth showed a lot of interest in wanting to become architects. And the demographic makeup of the youth that were in the program, 8 identified as BIPOC. So we were able to, typically when you have a program like this, the mover and the shaker kids that want to just pad their resume, jump into these. And we really made an intentional effort to not present it to that group, but to work with the career counselor. And the youth that got involved never knew, just really took a lot out of it. And it's just been a really great program. So that was the pilot program. Naked Prosthetics is our second year. We have another program with architects that are going to help with the design of the Olympia Film Society's building. And then we're working with a construction, forestry, setting up other Career Connect exploration programs in the different counties that we serve. So it gives the kids opportunity to really see technology firsthand, but have an industry mentor at their side, kind of guiding them through the whole process. So
That's amazing.
it's really starting to get some legs, and we're really excited about it.
That's awesome. I love it. One of the things I love about some of these activities and programs is, particularly for BIPOC kids and girls, exposing kids to different ideas. I think even, a lot of our kids, when they think of working in tech, they think you have to be you have to write programmer code, or, something, you have to be a software engineer. And it's so much more than that, right? Like there's user design and user experience and QA testing. And, there's the engineering pieces of it, but I just love exposing kids and young, because then it becomes native to them, right? Versus, this thing that other people do. I know I had zero exposure to that as a young girl in rural Kansas, right? Like there just wasn't. So I just get totally geeked out for kids when they get these kind of experiences.
And the thing is really amazing is how technologies in, like, for example, you think of forestry and you think of a lumber mill. Well, you pretty much have to be a computer tech operator to work in a mill anymore, because everything's computerized. Everything requires a tech background.
Yeah.
Even the forestry is heading in that direction, where you'll be working with equipment that you won't have to, go out there with a big saw. It'll all be done with these really cool tech pieces of construction or
and the geo mapping that happens. And
so having that tech background or that exposure is just going to be key to these kids' futures.
I love it. This is probably a nerdy topic I could talk about all the days. All the days. Are there other things, are folks experiencing wins or barriers you want to chat through, or connections, networking? Like, what are the things that Mentor Washington could be doing in this area to be helpful?
Well, any STEM related funding that that's available and can direct us to is always helpful.
That's always the common answer. Is there cash?
Well, just like Tony's program, it requires money to build these kind of programs and implement them. And same thing with our S.T.E.M lab, the equipment, the supplies, the activities. So anything that businesses that want to fund STEM related career exploration or activities is very helpful. For
sure. Tony?
Yeah, Jeff, that's interesting because, in the 10 years that I've been working on this platform, and it was largely inspired by when we first got involved with Mentor Washington. It wasn't called Mentor Washington, but because, Mentor Washington helped us build provided us with the framework to create Team Issachar, in 2011, and then we launched it in 2013. But after looking at the challenges that most mentoring programs faced, we said, wow, we want to have different options that would prevent us from, that would help us deal with the mobility of our society, and especially dealing with primarily African-American young men, that would provide the consistency. So that's why we ended up going with a group approach, because it was too important for us not to have those relationships be disrupted. But further, since a lot of our mentors were young men of color who were going to be highly mobile because they were in careers that were going to likely move them away from Seattle and to other places in the country. We didn't want them to lose those relationships that had been built with the young men. So that's what really started us looking at e-mentoring, so that no matter where that, where either the youth would move, and a number of youth moved to different states, but we wanted them to still feel like they were part of the team, of Team Issachar. So all of that led us to looking at building this e-mentoring solution, just to maintain consistency and to ensure that the connections that were made could be sustained as well over time. Now, what that meant for me as the primary architect is that, there wasn't any money. I just had to learn all of these things and burn the midnight oil, learning all of these things, which I'm a lifelong learner. And so it's been fun for me. The turning point, Jeff, was when I spent 4 years building a prototype in WordPress. And I saw my neighbor who lived across the street from me that worked at Microsoft for 21 years. And I asked him, hey, could you come take a look at this thing that I've built? And he said, sure. And he came over and he looked at it and he said, can I help?
Oh.
And so now for the last 6 years, 3 weeks later, his wife came over here and said, I just want to see where my husband's new office is.
I'll send lunch.
Yeah. So, having that expertise and that of his friends, and his connections has really accelerated all of it on a volunteer basis. I mean, no one has been paid to create this. So that's been the blessing and, just the awesome, otherwise, it would have been, when we look at how much time has been put into this, at a normal billing rate for developers and such, we're in the millions. So it does take a lot of money to create something like this platform. But we've been blessed. Truly, we know it's a mission from a higher power that has enabled this to happen. So sometimes we just have to look at the mission and put the mission above the dollars, and watch and see what happens. And that some they may be defined as and I'm sharing that as a win.
No, it's a total win, Tony. Thank you. I mean, amazing job, and what passion, and what a wonderful result.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm totally going to call you, Tony, and interview you. I cannot wait to share this win broadly for you. Speaking of money, I just put a link to our website. We actually have an open grant application right now. It's quote unquote only $5,000. However, it's general operating, whatever you really need it for, right? Like, we're not going to dictate how you use it. We just ask, a simple, pretty brief application, how you plan to spend it, right? Another resource I just put in the chat is, one of the things with I mean, our kids are on technology all the time, right? And so many things are rooted in web-based resources, and some of our families can't always afford home internet and those sort of things, right? And so T-Mobile has a program called Project 10 Million, and as part of their mass merger that they did with another large company, they're required by federal law to give back to the community. And so part of Project 10 Million is to give any kids and families who qualify for free and reduced lunches can qualify for this Project 10 Million project. It gets them a hotspot for 5 years. And so even if they're free and reduced lunch this year, but not next year, it's okay, they can keep it. If they're 17 this year, and that means they can keep it till they're 23 or whatever that is. So that's a resource that's out there. And I know at one point they were also working on a partnership with Walmart, I believe, that for any kid who qualified for a T-Mobile hotspot, they would also qualify for a free Chromebook. So for families that need access to, and I don't know if that last piece is totally put together yet, but the Project 10 Million for free hotspots is definitely working.
Thanks for sharing that. That's good stuff,
Yeah.
especially with all the rural communities we serve.
Yeah, and Big Brothers Big Sisters actually has a partnership, Jeff, with T-Mobile, where
Yeah.
you can sign off on that directly. Otherwise, they have to provide, the parent has to get proof from the school that they're free and reduced lunch. But they have a partnership directly with Big Brothers Big Sisters where you can sign off on that. So I bet if you hit David up, he would share that form with you. David, I'll put you on the spot.
I am literally looking for the form in a pile of forms.
I think yours is in form assembly, but Lydia would probably be able to help you.
Yeah, I know who to say. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Project 10 Million is, I think it's just great. Because the cost of a hotspot adds up really quick. So, and it helps support families with online learning or homework or anything like that. So, and it's no cost. Totally free. No scam, no catch. That's when T-Mobile reached out to me when we developed a partnership. I was like, what's the catch? What's the catch? There's no catch. There's no catch.
So Jolynn, that link that you supplied in the chat, grant application,
Yeah.
is that a competitive grant?
Yes, I mean, it's competitive in the sense that like, we don't have enough money for if 30,000 programs applied, we wouldn't be able to support everybody. And we do go through a review process, but I can tell you right now, we have 3 applications submitted. And the window is up through the end of the month, and then we'll review grant applications in November and notify folks. We'll usually do 4. We'll probably do 4 grants this year or this cycle. We do it usually twice a year. Is that right, Vic? Usually twice a year. Yeah. What else are folks thinking about related to STEM? I mean, David, we can put David on the spot since he's joining us. I know that his organization, you can introduce yourself, but your organization is launching a Bigs and Tech program. We're talking about STEM today.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You know what? Let me tell you what I do know. What very little I do know in terms of Bigs and Tech. So yes, I'm from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Puget Sound, and the Bigs and Tech program is ambitious. It's so ambitious. There's so many little things we're just trying to get together, but it's just all of these wonderful bigs, and just like, especially in the STEM kind of field, or even alongside Amazon, are just going to be connected with so many littles. And the reason why it's taking so much time to set up is because it's just a huge surplus of bigs, and we're just like, okay, we gotta line up the pieces right and everything. But it's great. It's super great. We're excited for it. We're still getting things set up, but it's absolutely great.
What a great problem to have. Too many mentors.
Right.
It's a great problem to have. I love it.
I know in terms of STEM, I know we had there's like a very, very small 2-part workshops with high schoolers actually teaching our littles how to do coding and how to make an app. It was really interesting. So I wish it was a little more successful, because the first part, it was great. There was some engagement, but the second part didn't turn out so well. And I think it's because of the material, the way it was organized. The first part was just a lot of planning, a lot of kind of abstract brainstorming versus actually making the app, which was the second part. So a lot of kids are like, I don't want to do that again, even though they really wanted to do the making app part. They just weren't motivated enough, sadly. But there was interest, is what was the interesting part. So hopefully we can do more of those kind of things in the future.
That's awesome. I love it. What else do folks want to add? Anything?
Well, if you have a surplus of bigs, we should talk. Yeah, because we in this partnership with Lake Washington Institute of Technology, they are expecting us, and when I say us, that's our nonprofit Futurepreneurs, to provide direct assistance to up to 100 students at the school. And so if there's a way for us to collaborate in finding those caring adults, we're fully compliant with the effective mentoring practices. So if there's a way for us to collaborate on that effort, I would love to do so. And our first date of engaging with the students is next Thursday, October 27th. And they want us to bring a number of mentors to for their resume writing class. And the students will have gone through their first stage of preparing resumes, and they would like us to connect with the students and review their resumes and provide any input that we can on their resumes. And now it's a small number of students, and these are opportunity youth. So these are students that are lagging behind their normal scheduled graduation date, or that they have previously dropped out of school and are back in school. So it's this group of students has some very tough circumstances quite often that would benefit from a mentor connection.
Tony, I found your Facebook page, but when I tried to click on fpus.org, I'm getting a 404 error.
Yeah,
critical error.
Yep. I'm working with GoDaddy right
Okay.
now.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Is there a different website we should go to? Okay.
No, that's the site. Some sort of error occurred just this morning.
It happens.
All of my technology is blowing up on me this morning.
It happens. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick question for you, Tony. Are you, is your program registered in the Mentoring Connector?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Should be. Now, I know we put Team Issachar in. I don't know if we put Futurepreneurs in yet. Like I say, I'm working with multiple organizations. I'll check to make sure Futurepreneurs is in there.
Great.
Thank you.
Cool. Love it. Is there anything else we should chat about today, friends, or do you want the gift of 10 minutes?
I have a little question or thought.
Yeah.
It might be a little too open-ended, but who knows where it could lead us. I've always been, I've heard STEM. I've studied a lot about all of those wonderful things, but I've always been a advocate for STEAM, which is that artistic part involved. Is there a reason why we shouldn't just focus on STEAM, but we're focusing on STEM? Just thoughts on any of that?
STEAM is great too. Yeah, I think it just depends on the situation, and some organizations include the arts and some don't. But I think arts are wonderful.
As far as I know, for the mentor affiliation, they've been using STEM has been the monthly theme for a long time. I think it's going to change to STEAM going forward, because there's been a lot of talk about the importance of art and how broad it is and interconnecting. So I think it should be included. I love art.
So would you say that the state we're currently in it's primarily focused on STEM, but we're slowly growing into STEAM? Or I'm kind of gauging because I'm from California, so there's parts in California where they're already embracing STEAM. It's already like full engines. So then I come over here and it seems a little more focused on STEM over STEAM, but maybe it's just my mindset. I don't know.
I think that's probably true. I wonder how much of it has to do with industry, David. Because when I think of, I mean, the industry, the arts industry is not ginormous, as big in Washington as it would be in California, right? I mean, with Hollywood and everything else, but Microsoft, Amazon, like all of those companies are here. So I have never heard an intentional exclusion of arts. I just don't know that it's been, I don't know. I think it depends on the organization. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. It was just food for thought. It was just exploring that. So good to know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in TechSoup, Victor. You know, just a tremendous resource for just about anything technology related that any nonprofit would need.
I also don't think programs should be shy about asking for nonprofit discounts with software and tools. Some companies are like open, you know, or they're transparent about their nonprofit discounts, and other companies you have to ask. Like, for example, most people don't know that you can get 10 free licenses for Salesforce if you're a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people don't know that.
At Microsoft, we got 2800 Office licenses from Microsoft.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there.
There definitely is. Yeah. Well, friends, I have really appreciated our conversation today and all of your ideas and successes and wins. I just love hearing about what's happening out in the field. So really exciting stuff.
Great. Thank you for hosting.
My pleasure. Our pleasure. All right. Well, have a great day, everybody.
All
Yep.
right.
Have a
All
good
right.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye.